Every single breath you take, every thought you have, it's all powered by these incredible microscopic engines humming away inside trillions of your cells. Today, we're going to pop the hood and take a close look at one of those engines, the Krebs cycle. This is the absolute heart of how we turn our food into actual usable fuel.
Seriously, just think about it for a second. How does a bite of an apple or a piece of bread give you the energy to power something as complex as your own brain? It really seems like magic, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It's just a beautiful, incredibly elegant chemical process happening at the very core of our biology.
So, to see this in action, we've got to zoom way, way in. We're going inside these tiny little power plants inside our cells called mitochondria. And not just anywhere inside, we're heading right to the center into a space called the mitochondrial matrix. This is basically the factory floor where all the magic happens. Okay, so before the main show can even start, our fuel has to get prepped. It all begins with glucose. Through a process called glycolysis, this 6-carbon sugar gets split in half into 2 smaller 3-carbon molecules called pyruvate. It's kind of like breaking a big log into smaller, more manageable pieces for the fire. These little pyruvate molecules then get shipped into the mitochondrion, where they're turned into an absolutely crucial 2-carbon molecule, acetyl-CoA. Now this guy holds the golden ticket to get into the Krebs cycle. And we're in. The cycle officially kicks off the second our 2-carbon acetyl-CoA meets up with a 4-carbon molecule that's already waiting inside. That molecule's called oxaloacetic acid. They combine and boom, we get a brand new 6-carbon molecule called citric acid. In fact, this first step is so important that the Krebs cycle is often just called the citric acid cycle. Makes sense, right? So the whole point of this cycle is to just systematically break down that new molecule and harvest all its energy. And it starts right away. One carbon atom gets snipped off and is released as carbon dioxide. And get this, that's literally the CO2 you're breathing out right this very second. As that happens, we capture the high-energy electrons that are released and we store them in our first little energy carrier molecule, NADH. So our 6-carbon molecule is now a 5-carbon molecule. And the machine just keeps on churning with this beautiful efficiency. Another carbon atom is snipped off, again released as CO2, and once more we grab that energy, loading up a second NADH molecule. So now we've gotten rid of both carbons that originally came in from that acetyl-CoA, and our molecule is down to just 4 carbons. All right, this next step is pretty cool because we get a direct energy payout. As that 4-carbon molecule gets tweaked and reshaped, enough energy is released to create one molecule of GTP. Now, GTP is basically the twin cousin of ATP, the cell's main energy currency. It's super easily converted into ATP, so think of this as a small but immediate cash profit. But the energy harvest isn't done yet. In this next reaction, we bring in a different but just as important type of energy carrier called FAD+. It swoops in, gets loaded up with high-energy electrons, and becomes FADH2. You can think of NADH and FADH2 as different brands of rechargeable batteries. They both do the same job. Store energy to be used later, and they're both absolutely essential. Okay, just one final squeeze to get the last bits of energy out. The 4-carbon molecule gets rearranged one last time, and in that chemical shuffle, we generate our third and final NADH molecule for this one turn of the cycle. And this is what makes the whole thing so brilliant. This is why it's a cycle, because after all that, what are we left with? The original 4-carbon oxaloacetic acid, the exact same molecule we started with in step 1. It's been perfectly reset, and it's just sitting there, ready to grab the next incoming acetyl-CoA and spin that wheel all over again. So let's do a little accounting here. What's the final tally from just one spin of this cycle? Well, we've produced 2 molecules of CO2 as waste, we made 1 molecule of direct energy, that GTP, which becomes ATP, and most importantly, we fully charged up 4 batteries, 3 NADH and 1 FADH2. Not bad for one turn. But wait, here's the kicker. Remember way back at the beginning, I said 1 glucose molecule gets split into 2 pyruvate molecules. Well, that means for every single glucose you eat, the entire Krebs cycle we just walked through doesn't happen once, it happens twice. So everything on that table we just looked at, yeah, you can go ahead and double it. So you might be thinking, hold on, we only made 2 ATP directly from a whole glucose molecule? That doesn't seem like very much. And you'd be totally right. That little bit of ATP isn't the main event here. The real prize, the treasure we're actually after, is this massive haul of charged up energy carriers.
From that one glucose, we've stocked up a grand total of 10 NADH and 2 FADH2 molecules. That's where the vast majority of the energy is now stored, just waiting to be cashed in.
I mean, that's just the definition of metabolic elegance, isn't it? It's a self-sustaining engine. As long as you keep giving it fuel, as long as that acetyl-CoA keeps showing up, that oxaloacetic acid will get regenerated every single time, ready to keep that turbine spinning and the energy flowing. It's incredible.
So when you look at the whole thing, it's so clear this isn't just some random chain of chemical reactions. It's a perfectly designed engine. Its entire purpose is to take the fuel from our food and just systematically strip it of its high-energy electrons, loading them onto those NADH and FADH2 batteries for the next stage, which is where the real energy payoff happens.
And that, of course, leaves us with the big multi-trillion-dollar question. We've done all this work to fill up all these energy-carrying batteries, but that energy's still locked away. So if the Krebs cycle isn't where we make most of our ATP, where is it? How do we finally cash in these molecular batteries for the massive energy payout that actually powers our lives? Well, that, my friends, is where the next and most spectacular stage of respiration comes into play.